There we go. Hey everybody, it's Becky at Living the Dream Quilt Shop with Block of the Week 9 on our beautiful quilt back here. Let me see if I can get this in a little bit better. There we go. You guys can see the quilt behind me. It's a little bit lopsided. Why are we lopsided? I know the quilt's straight. I think it's the camera that's a little lopsided. There we go. Make it a little bit straighter for you guys. How is everybody doing tonight? Say hey when you come in. Let me know you're here. We've got Angie and Seth. I got the sound. I got it. I got it under control. Thank goodness. All right, so we are on block number 9. So we are almost finished. There are only 2 more weeks to go after this. Now, for the next 2 weeks, I will be on vacation. Seth is going to go back and redo all the live videos, turn them into tutorials for each of these blocks. So if you haven't caught up, this will be your chance to catch up on the blocks. If you're just starting with us, it's your chance to go ahead and get in and start seeing how you can do these blocks. Let me grab my phone. And this week, Sandy Wilmoth is the winner of the, oh, here they are, of the drawing. Because Sandy was the only one that posted the pictures of her blocks during the week between week 8 and last week when we should have done week 9. Sandy gets these magic pins for participating. So, you guys have 3 weeks right now from today to go ahead, do some blocks, post the pictures. When I get back, I will be going through all the pictures, and everybody that has posted pictures in the next 3 weeks of their blocks from the block of the week will be entered into the next drawing. So make sure you get in there. Sandy won that very easy. She was the only one that participated, so she gets these lovely magic pins. So congratulations, Sandy. I know we have a lot more people participating in the block of the week, so make sure you get into that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this camera over here. And I'm going to go ahead and flip through the first 8 blocks that we have done. This one here was week 1. This was the basic 9 patch. And if you go back to the first video, I think the first 3 videos actually have all the material requirements for the sampler quilt. And here is block 2. There's Sharon Kincaid. Hey, Sharon. This is block 2. This was the 9 patch with a twist. And here we have block 3. The 3rd week is the split rail fence. So if you've been doing it along with us, make sure you have all these blocks. And they are 12.5 inches unfinished. So see if your blocks are coming out right. Next, this one is called Shoe Fly or the Churn Dash. And all of these are really, really easy. Oh, Karen, if you entered them late, I might not have looked. I will go back and look at that. But last week, when I started this class and then we couldn't finish it, I just took it from that week. So next time, I'll include this past week in there. This one is Shoe Fly or Churn Dash. And these are all beginner blocks. Some of them might look a little hard. They are not. They are very easy. So just go back and watch each of the videos. If you don't think you can do it, I promise you can. This one here, this was week. See, I already lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was week 5. This is the double 4 patch. You've got your 4 patches here, and then this is a 4 patch. This one was the Road to California. This was one that so many people told me they wouldn't be able to do, and they did it, and they did it beautifully. And then we had this mystery block in week 7, which was actually, if you can see the quilt behind me, It was that block up there at the top, this one right here. You can make it into that diamond star pattern, or there are so many ways to turn it around. So if you didn't see that video, make sure you go back and watch it. It was a great video. These are all half square triangles. So 16 half square triangles, and I show a bunch of different ways you can turn this into totally different looking blocks. So this was the one I chose for the second quilt I'm doing. And then the last week we had Crystal Star, which I thought turned out really pretty. There's Melissa Hall. Hello, Melissa. There's Willa. Hey, Willa. And now this week we are going to be working on Alaskan Homestead. Now that might look a little familiar to you guys because it looks very similar to, let me find it. I want to show it to you guys together so you can compare. I just had it in my hand and now I can't find it. There we go. It looks a lot like shoe fly, but it's not. And that's where I messed up in the directions last week and had to redo, because these pieces going across the centers are not as big as we had on these. So I went back. We have the right measurements today so everybody can do this block. Thank goodness. And there's some, oh, it's the machine. So we will be doing the Alaskan Homestead today, and it's another really easy block. Andrea, hey Andrea, how are you today? Good to see you. All right, so what we're going to need today is you need 3 different colors. And I am using, I just did this as a mock-up from last week's block. I don't want to use the green this week. I've been using a lot of the green. I'm going to use this really pretty blue. And my favorite, this orange and peach color. And my background fabric. So these are the colors I'm going to be using. And the first thing I need to do is pick up my directions. I'm going to move my sewing machine out of the way while we cut some fabric. And I am just using an 8.5 inch square up ruler to cut my fabric with. So if you're new and you don't have a lot of money to spend on sewing, but you want to learn how, this is the easiest way. I can teach you all of these blocks with just the basic things. So first of all, for my bigger block, for these right here, we need 2 6-inch of the one color and 2 6-inch of our background colors. So I'm going to cut 2 6-inch squares, and I think I've got perfect 6 inches right here. Let's see if I can turn my ruler right. There we go. Okay. And you want to make sure when you cut that your fabric behind, if you have fabric underneath and you're cutting 2 at a time, you want to make sure that that's either butted up together or you're going over enough so that you can get the right amount when you cut. You don't want to cut it short. Okay, so I'm going to come across here like this, go up this direction. There we go. Now I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to put this right on the 6 and 6. And if anybody has any questions along the way, just post it in the comments. If you're having fun and you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, now, from the background fabric, we need 2 6-inch, or whatever color you're wanting for your 2 bigger squares. And I'll show you that again for these here. And when we're done, I'm going to show you a few others in different colors. And that's what I like about everybody showing, posting their pictures to the community page, because people like to see it in different colors. And see, it just gives them more ideas to do with the blocks. Make sure you get that right on the lines. I think somebody has put my chair down. My chair seems a lot lower. If Elaine's on here, Elaine, did you put my chair down? Let me see. Oh, there we go. I feel better now. I was like sitting on the ground. Oh, Andrea, me too. I love these colors. Okay, so I have two blocks, two 6-inch blocks, each of my background and the bigger color I wanted to use. Now, from my background again, I need a strip. Oh, I keep dropping the directions. I need a strip that is 12 by 3. 12 by 3. Okay, so I'm going to cut this excess off of this one. There we go. And I know I only need one side, but I'm going to go ahead and fold this over. And it might cut a little bit longer, but that's okay. I need 3 inches. So I've got most of this out of the way. So I need a strip that is 12 inches long by 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to put that down on my mat. Okay. And then I also need one block for our center that's 2.5 by 2.5. So I'm just going to cut that off right now and set that to the side. Oh, that was a bad cut. Rainy night in Georgia. I'm going to have to play that song when I get off of here, Eve. I'll never get it out of my head now. It's a rainy night in West Virginia too, girlfriend. Okay, let's see. I've got a shorter one here, so I'm going to use this. I always flip it the wrong direction. First, I'm going to cut this little piece off. Maybe I can use that for a postage stamp quilt. And I need 3 inches. And I'm going to cut a little bit over because I don't think my edge over here is even. So I'll cut that a little bit over. And then flip it over. Yep, I wasn't even. Let's see. That really needs some squaring up. Let's see. 3. Yeah, that's way off. That was a bad cut all around. I've got a tear in it. Let me see if this is going to work. Yes, thankfully I've got 12 inches between that tear. So I can just cut straight across there and straight across there. That was luck. Pure dumb luck right there. Okay, so, yep, I've got a little over 12 inches. We are good to go. Everybody up with me so far? Tris Fisher from Idaho. Welcome in. Oh no, your car wouldn't pick. Aw. We will have to figure that out, Melissa. We've got a new oldie station here. I think it's 92.7. It is wonderful. They play great music. Okay, so my material from being thrown in this basket for 9 weeks now is a little bit messy. I'm going to get the iron out in the best press and get some of these wrinkles out real quick. And if you're new and you haven't used Best Press yet, it is awesome for getting those wrinkles out of the material and giving it just a little bit of a starchiness to make it easier to sew with. Oh, Isabella, thank you, honey. What are you doing? All right, there's those. These are pretty good, but there's a wrinkle in that one. Give that side a little shot. I love it because you can do this with water too. You can spray a little bit of water on it, but this gives it just a little bit of that stiffness that I really like when I'm trying to sew. Because some of this fabric is really soft. Kind of came out fast on there, but that's okay. Alrighty. Pepper has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more boards in the shop, Angie. And we do sell these in the shop. Now, the shipping is a little bit more than normal if you want one shipped out, but let me show you. This is a really nice ironing board. You can take this to classes. It has these Teflon, I think, feet on it so it won't scratch anything. This is nice and hard plastic. What is this made out of, Pepper? I don't even know what this is made out of, but it's really nice. And she has them padded really well for ironing, so I love these. Cordeline. All right. Nice to have you. Is that near him, Angie? There is Kenyon. Hello, Mr. Kenyon. Kenyon is cleaning my refrigerator and freezer out for me that died today. Gotta love that happening. Okay, so I've got everything ironed. Where is my one little square I did? There it is. Yeah, he's okay. All right, so everything is ironed or pressed. Gotta say pressed. I don't want Sue to get on here and yell at me. All right, so now we're going to get our handy dandy sewing machines and, well, let's mark this first. So on our blocks, we need to put one of our background blocks with one of our colored blocks, or whichever ones you chose. Just put 2 of them face together. Make sure they're nice and even. Actually put both of them together like that. And what we're going to do, and it does not matter, you can even use a pen to do this part, because you are never going to see this line again. You are going to take your ruler and put it from across the middle of the square and draw a line across there. Okay? And do the same for your second block. Make sure you can see it. Yep. Well, I say we just go and take a whole tour of the state, Angie. I'm up for it. All right, so what we're going to do first, we're going to take our blocks and we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch on either side of that line. So we're going to sew down the first side. I'm going to put I have washi tape here, but it doesn't do a whole lot of good because we're sewing down the middle of this. So I have a line on my foot, and if you have a 1/4 inch foot, even better. And I'm going to follow that line with that line on my foot and sew down one side of that seam. Make sure your square is together. And we do have a little bit of room for error in this one. I had everybody cut them a little bit bigger for the beginners. Just to make sure, let me see, what did I do with that? There it is. I never did measure that when that came out today. Yep, 12.5. Good. Whew. I was right. All right, so I sewed down both sides. I left them together. I just chain stitched that right in a row. So now I'm just going to turn it around and do it again on the other side of the line. So I'm still have the pencil mark underneath my the line on my foot, and I'm just sewing. Oh, I just unthreaded my machine. I'm not sewing anything. Let's see. Scissors in here. All right, let's see. It would help if I I'm not used to this machine. It threads from the left. Okay. A little piece. Karen Bush, remind me to call you afterwards. I got to tell you something. I'll probably forget by the time I get you called. Okay. Oh, Lord. Where did the thread go? All right. I can't even thread a machine today. Okay. And if anybody is sewing along with me, let me know if I need to hole up. And Seth will have all of these lives coming out on as tutorials later on in the coming 2 weeks. But some people just like to sew along with me so they can ask questions while they're sewing, and that is perfectly fine. Oh, doggone it. I had it and I pulled it right out. this give you guys time to catch up? There it goes. Don't pull out. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to sew down the second side of this. I have another machine, and I always forget to hold the threads on this when I start it. It's kind of like a featherweight. You got to hold it down. Oh yeah, I would love that, Melissa. Melissa is working on an owl quilt for one of your patients, right, Melissa? And then her aunt wants one too, so she's got to make two. I told her that's what happens when you start sewing and quilting. Everybody wants one. And they think it's really easy and quick to make too. Okay, so there we have two of those. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take our ruler and put it right on that pencil line, pen line, whatever you use to mark it with, and cut that in half. So then we end up with two half square triangles. And now I'm going to cut this one. Alright, and before I iron those over, I'm going to go ahead and sew these two strips together. So we are going to take our two 3-inch strips. It should be 3 inches by about 12 inches. You won't need exactly all of that, but I wanted to give everybody a little bit of leg room in case they were a beginner. Alright, now we can press. I don't need that to press. Okay, so if you've seen me do this before, I always press to the dark side. And what I do is I will have my strip there, and I will open this up and kind of hold on to it while I press. Let's see if I can turn this sideways so you can see a little better. I just hold this side up and press like this over. That way it presses that seam the right direction for me, and I know it's not bulking up underneath. I don't know if you guys can hear that Morkie in the background. I have a Morkie and she is not happy. Okay, Karen, that'll work. And the same thing for these. I'm going to hold the darker side up, and I'm just going to press really easy toward that darker side to get that seam to set. If you just lay it over like this and push that down, sometimes there's a lip there. You don't want that lip there. That will throw your block off. I used to hate ironing. Now I absolutely adore ironing. It's funny, I guess I'm turning into a little old lady, huh? Oh, Karen, I've got a good one for you today. So, you see my outfit? For everybody that wasn't on here, I can't remember when I told the story, but I had a meltdown because I found out I'm a senior citizen. I've been one for 2 years, didn't know it. So I kind of had a meltdown about 2 weeks ago. Well, today I'm in the shop with this outfit on. And a woman came in and told me I look like Mrs. Roper. For any of you older ones on here, you know who Mrs. Roper is. I was like, what? Seth, your mother is getting old. And I don't know, Seth might be too young to know who Mrs. Roper is, but dear God, I'm going to sell this shirt, and I just bought it this week. Angie knows who Mrs. Roper is. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Okay, so now that we have these sewed open, we are really almost completed with our blocks. So all we have to do is on this part, we need 2.5-inch strips. So I'm going to cut this into 2.5-inch strips. First, I'm going to even it up a little bit, because that edge is definitely not on. Let me start from this side. It's cruise worthy? Yeah. Maybe they'll have a Mrs. Roper night. It's not. It's just it's a little bit bigger than what I wear, but I liked it so much that I wanted it anyway, and now I'm rethinking that. All right, so we need 4 2.5-inch strips out of this. There's 1, 2, and remember, measure twice, cut once. You don't want to cut the wrong size and have to sew more. Like I think I just did. Are you kidding me? No, it's right. Okay. Whew. I thought I cut the wrong size. I was like, wait, that's 2.5. Give myself a heart attack here in this Mrs. Roper getup. And now you're telling your age exactly, Melissa. Thank you for saying I don't look like Mrs. Roper. Okay, so now you should have... Oh, we need to square these up. That's right. Okay, so we are going to square these up to 5.5. So using our square up ruler, if you haven't done this before, we have a line running right up the middle. We are going to match that line up with this line going right up our block. And we need 5.5. So you should have just a little bit left over around the outside edges. I mean, I barely got a skinny around there. See there? And then I'm going to flip that around and do the same thing on this side. How's the bandwidth tonight? Because it's raining really hard outside, am I stalling out, or is it doing okay tonight? I know Seth had me change a few things around to make sure to get it to try to quit stalling out. All right, and we'll do this for all 4 of these. Get them all squared up, nice and neat. And it takes these little dog ears off your half square triangles. 5.5 inches. Measure twice, cut once. Don't forget that. You don't want to mess it up and have to sew anymore. Oh, didn't get that one cut all the way. Let's see. So, what has everybody been listening to while they sew this week? I like to watch old TV shows. Here I'll tell my age. Andy Griffith, not Three's Company. Andy Griffith, Rockford Files, Columbo. I like those old shows. And Perry Mason. And then I like my Dateline. And I'm running out of things to watch. I love Everybody Loves Raymond. And I might have to go back and watch 2.5 Men for a while. I am running out of good shows to watch, so I need some ideas. Or do you guys just listen to music while you sew? Or like the quiet? Murder, She Wrote. Yeah, there's one I haven't watched in a while. Oh, I can't do horror movies. No way. It is better? Okay. Good deal. Yeah, Melissa, he just had me change that last night. Oh, that's a great idea. Karen Bush, we need to Zoom. That is a great idea. Look, Seth's going to say, Mom, just turn on your camera and go live with everybody. I know what's coming next. I shouldn't have opened that can of worms. Seth told me just to go live and I don't have to talk. And I feel funny if I'm live and I'm not talking. And nobody can talk back to me, Seth. Alrighty. There are those four. Anybody sewing along that wants me to wait for them to catch up? Karen Bush, are you agreeing with Seth? You are not allowed to do that. Just so you know. Let's see, this is my waist, so let me throw it away. So now, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these blocks, 4 of these strips that we sewed together and cut, and 1 2.5 by 2.5. So we are ready to put our block together. Okay, so let me get a sip of my RC. I gave up the sweet tea tonight. I'm on the hard stuff. RC Cola. I haven't had an RC in forever, and I was at the gas station yesterday and thought, I need an RC. Okay, so we are going to put our background fabric, or whatever you used as in place of this, toward the outsides of each edge. Like this. That Morky just will not stop. Okay, so there we have that, and now we're going to put the background on the outside and our color on the inside of each of these. And then one block in the middle. So actually, we have 3 rows here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the one on the right, top right, and we're going to flip it over right onto this little one on the left. And we're going to square that up so it's nice and neat. If you feel the need to pin it, you can pin it. I just line it up like that. It's a short piece. Sure I got it lined up good. Put my foot down on it and sew that 1/4 inch seam. And now I'm not going to take that off yet. I'm going to flip row 2, which is this little piece, right onto this little white piece. And sew that 1/4 inch seam. I'm just going to chain right onto that. And then I'm going to do the same for row 3. And if anybody has any questions, just let me know. Idaho Gal Zooms. That is so cool. Melissa's going to get a Pepsi. Did my RC make you thirsty, Melissa? Oh, what was that little bump there? That was odd. Okay. So now, I know row 3 is down here at the bottom. I should have tilted this up some. Sorry about that. So, here is row 3. I'm going to go ahead and cut that and open it up. And then next up, row 2 and row 1. So now, before I sew this side, well, before I sew this side onto here, I want to iron these pieces. Or press these pieces. Sue, if you're on here, I don't think I'll ever get the wording right. Okay, so I'm going to press toward the orange side because there's more orange than there is blue. Okay. And then this one I'll press toward the blue. And back to the orange. Oh, my cord's in the way. Okay. And now I'm going to set my block back up. You don't want to just pile everything up, especially if you're a beginner. If you pile everything up and try to think you have it right, a lot of times you won't have it right. So now, I'm going to take the right side, flip it over to the left, and sew these 3 together. There is 1. 2 and 3. Okay, so here we have our 3 rows, and this side needs pressed. I used to not do that, but when you try to sew and you don't have that seam pressed down, see how that is wonking over that way? When my needle goes across, it's going to push this blue fabric over onto the pink. And watch this. See how far that pulled out? That was quite a ways. That was, let's see. See if I can show you on here. That is almost 1/8 of an inch that pulled. So you always want to press. Like I said, I didn't used to like it. Now I love it because my quilting looks so much better. My points actually match. And my blocks are not wonky. But you will know if you get wonky blocks where the fabric is kind of fuller in one area than in another, it's because of, usually it's because you have too much fabric in there or too little in another area because you didn't press the seams open or press the seams to the side. Okay. Dr. Pepper Zero. My boyfriend loves Dr. Pepper Zero. And Kenyon would probably like it. My son loves Dr. Pepper. I bet you he would like zero too. Okay, so there we have our block. Now I'm going to flip one down on two. And now we're going to match some seams up. So let me get my clips. Okay, I've got some clips here, and we are going to embed. Over here doesn't matter. It's the middle that matters. We need these two seams to match up. So I'm going to pull that over a little, and I'm going to take my thumb on the back and just walk it right up that seam and make sure they match. And put a clip right there. Or you can pin it. And this one kind of helps me because I've actually accidentally pressed that one open. This one's over to the side. You can actually flip that over like that so they're on opposite ends. And you can actually feel them nest. So I'm going to walk that up there and put that on. Let me grab one more. And then I'm going to make sure my block is straight all the way out to the edge and clip it. Now, you can see here on this one, I have a little bit of this edge sticking out. I'm not going to worry about that because if I worry about that, this isn't going to meet over here, and I want my points to meet. And the same thing this direction. This one's meeting up really good. So I just have a little bit of extra room there. I'm not going to worry about that. It's not even 1/8 of an inch. I would say more like a 1/16. And I'm not going to sweat that. I would rather have my points matching. And I'm going to hold my finger when I pull that clip off. I am holding that seam down until it goes under the foot. And the same with this one. Alright, and now I can pull just a tiny bit, and there it's meeting. We got it. Okay. Now, before I sew the next one on, I want to check my seams, and that one meets really good. This one is a little bit off. So that came a little bit off there. I'm not going to worry about that. If you're looking at it like you're looking at this quilt back here, can you see the seams that are off? That's the biggest thing everybody worries about. If it's a big amount, a huge amount, and you can really see it good, you might want to go back and sew that. But I am not going to worry about something small because when somebody walks in, and this quilt is right here behind me. It's like 3 foot from me. But can you look at that quilt and see that? The biggest thing beginners worry about, and a lot of them quit sewing because they're so worried that it's not perfect. One of my grandmothers used to say, if you make a perfect quilt, people will have nightmares under it. My other grandma used to say, if you have a perfect quilt, it wasn't made with love. And I asked her one day, my grandma Dadisman, Seth, what do you mean, Grandma, it wasn't made with love? And she said, well, if it's perfect, you spent too much time cussing it when you made your mistakes and went back and redone them while you cussed. So, thank you, Grandma Dadisman. And Seth, do we have any news, any updates on the app that's coming out? If it's out, I'll do a little talk about that before we leave tonight. Okay, so I'm going to try harder on this one. I'm going to walk this right up that center. And I'm going to beat a little Morky when I get done. Alright, let's see. I won't. He's very spoiled, just so you know. Walk that up there. And then this side's meeting good over here. Put that clip on there. And make sure this side's meeting good. It is with Google Play. All right. So, for those of you that don't know, my son Seth is a very talented engineer. He has made a new app for us. Make sure you go to the community page and check out our podcast on it. All things sewing, you will love it. You get to put your whole sewing room in there. It's called Ancestral Sewing. And Karen Bush, she's one of the people that's been a beta tester on it. It is amazing. You can list the fabrics you own with pictures, your threads, your notions, your rulers, projects you're working on. Take pictures of them so you can share with others. It is the most amazing app I've ever seen. And it's phenomenal, but it's only for Android users right now. We have to get it out on Android for a little bit before we can take it over to Apple. So for all you Android users, you might want to check that out in the coming days. And we'll have a post on it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube or follow us on Facebook so you can get that information when it comes out. There we go. Alrighty. Now I'm going to sew this, and I've got a few things to show you guys on these Alaskan Homestead blocks. Oh, there we go. Make sure that's okay. Oh yeah, just caught that back thread for a minute. Alright, I'm going to hold down. Make sure I hold it down well until it gets under that foot. Hopefully it didn't move. And all the way to the end. These ironing boards are very good to use, just so you guys know. Okay, let's see what we did. That one is still a little off, and you can even see, can you guys see this little wonkiness here? Let me hold this up to the camera. I'm going to redo this one. See how that has a little bit of wonkiness in there? It's sewn, but I don't want to leave that wonkiness because that will show up later on. So I'm going to rip that seam out. If I have a... Well, maybe I'm not tonight. I don't see my seam ripper. Oh no, my seam ripper's gone. Okay, well, I won't rip it out tonight, but I will be ripping that out to redo that. Let me go ahead and iron it, though. I don't think this point's very bad, but I don't like that wonkiness. And I do have just a little bit of play, if you can see there, and it's probably from that being there. So I will redo that later on. But let me grab these papers to show you guys. I lost my first 10 pounds. Wow, really? Good for you. Okay. All right, so here is some different blocks I found online of the Alaskan Homestead. There is a picture of it with some different colors in it. And here's what I really wanted you... Well, let me show you this other one first. There is another one. It makes such a beautiful quilt, even if you just want to do Alaskan Homestead. And it's easy to do, especially if you have an AccuQuilt cutter. Very easy to do. But here is a quilt with it, and I really wish it was in these colors. But there is a quilt done with it, and there's a free pattern at quilttherapy.com. So that's all of these patterns in this quilt behind me, this sampler quilt, are totally free online. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this project, was to show beginners and other people that may not know that you can get beautiful patterns online totally free that make really beautiful quilts like the one you see behind me. I mean, look at this. Even though I've got a little mess up there and need to go back, it is still a beautiful block. I love it. So do we have any questions tonight? Does anybody have any questions for me? God, that is pretty. So if you enjoyed what you've seen, make sure you go in the description, hit subscribe on YouTube, hit follow on Facebook, and in the description you can go to livingthedreamquiltshop.com. Our entire shop is on there except some of our bigger machines. We sell Genomes, AccuQuilt, I do long arming, and we have a nice little quilt shop here in Bridgeport, West Virginia. We ship all over the United States. We do different countries. We even have some other countries that are coming on and doing this quilt along with us during the hours they're awake, because apparently they're sleeping during this time. So welcome everybody that has come in. Thanks for hanging out with us. I will see you all next week. No, I'm sorry. I will be off for the next 2 weeks, but you will see video tutorials coming out while I'm gone. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for helping me live my dream, and I hope you're all living yours. Ah, Andrea's mom was a Pepsi-holic. All right, you guys have a